On our next show, families reunited after years apart.
Due to tonight's 25 Sports exclusive, The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson will not be seen. News 25 Nightside will be seen immediately following tonight's game.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Southern Illinois is awfully tired of Bradley celebrating at their expense. Percy Hawkins set a school scoring record the last time they met. And tonight they can wrap up the Valley season in first place. Live, 25 Sports brings you Bradley Basketball. This exclusive telecast is brought to you in part by Coors, the beer with the difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down with the silver bullet. By University Ford, where you're always a winner. By Counter, more performance, more consistency. Counter gives you more. By Methodist Medical Center of Illinois. By the Country Company's Insurance. You've got the country behind you. By ICI, makers of Eradicane and Diphenate. And by North Point Video, Audio, and Appliance, Peoria and Morton. The Bradley Braves are selfish. They don't want to share the Missouri Valley Conference title with Wichita State. And they won't have to if they beat Southern Illinois tonight here in Carbondale. Hello again, everybody. I'm Mark Strauss along with Lee Hall. Welcome to SIU Arena and our telecast of Bradley versus Southern Illinois. Well, the Braves are on a 7-game win streak, Lee, and if they make it 8, they will be outright Missouri Valley Conference champions.
Well, Mark, there's no doubt they don't want to share this title with anybody. They said that after the game the other night. And as you can hear by the crowd here, Southern doesn't want to share 4th place with anyone either. If they win tonight, they get 4th place outright in the Valley. That's very important to them. And as we saw last year here, they will play Bradley very tough at home.
In fact, it would be the first time in 10 years that Southern Illinois had finished as high as 10th in the Missouri Valley Conference. Meanwhile, it's Steve Middleton Day here in Carbondale, as proclaimed by the mayor on the occasion of his last game as a Saluki in front of the home crowd. We'll be back with the starting lineups in just a minute, so don't go away.
No, today's not like every other day. There's something wild and green that makes taking a shower more than just getting wet. Wild green! The scent lifts your spirits. You make my heart sing. The lather takes you where you've never been. You make everything groovy. New Wild Green Coast, the wild side of feeling alive. Wild green!
When Ed moved to Wheaton, he thought he was going to have to look high and low for a Country Company's auto claim center. He didn't know that Country Company's has more of them than anyone else in the state. So how about it, Ed? Hard to find?
Nope. It's just 5 minutes from my house. And the Country Company's folks around here are just as friendly.
You got the country behind you.
With the most auto claim centers.
You got the Country Companies.
No, but if I turn him down.
Design Furniture and Systems have created efficient offices for hundreds of Tri-County businesses. From interior design and space planning to product selection, coordination, and accent pieces to their experienced service department's final installation. No matter what your space or budget, Design Furniture and Systems can make your office more efficient through space-saver systems like this mobile storage unit or color-coded filing systems. Design Furniture and Systems, Downstate's fastest-growing interior design company with additional sales offices in Bloomington and LaSalle, Peru.
Putting on the hit Saturday morning at 11:30 on WEEK.
The Braves are 22-4, and they're ranked 14th in today's new Associated Press poll, the same spot they were in a week ago in that rating service. And as far as the Missouri Valley standings are concerned, Southern Illinois could wind up in 4th place or in 6th place, depending on what they do here tonight. Drake is playing Creighton, and as you can see, that number 4 spot is up for grabs.
Yeah, it is. As far as the tournament goes, Southern Illinois will play the winner of the Drake-Creighton game. Whoever wins that ball game tonight will play Southern in the first round of the tournament. Bradley especially wants a win tonight, so they can play Indiana State to start off the tournament.
It is also senior night here in Carbondale, and they are honoring the seniors before the game, just as they did the Bradley seniors on Saturday in Peoria. And there are 3 Southern Illinois seniors. They are Scott Hesse, Tim Richardson, and of course Steve Middleton, who is the number 3 all-time scorer here at Southern Illinois. And as I mentioned a moment ago, it is Steve Middleton Day in Carbondale, proclaimed by the mayor, and at midcourt right now, he is being honored by what appears to be a sellout crowd here at the SIU Arena. In fact, Middleton is the number 2 scorer in the Missouri Valley Conference at 24.9 per game. And even at that mark, he is still more than 10 points behind Hersey Hawkins. So he's been overshadowed again this year by number 33.
If it weren't for Hersey, this guy would be the Missouri Valley Player of the Year. You can see him at midcourt. They're going to retire his number. This guy has never beaten Bradley as a Saluki. Neither is Rich Heron. That is added incentive for them tonight. They both want to get a win against Bradley.
That's right. The Braves have won the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams. And of course they won that first meeting in Peoria, a night that we'll remember because Hersey Hawkins passed Chet Walker on Bradley's all-time scoring list. Now our starting lineup.
Tonight, Southern Illinois University hosts Bradley University Braves in a Missouri Valley Conference game. Now let's see the lineups. First, for Bradley, at forward, a 6'5 senior from Chicago, Illinois, number 32, Greg Jones. Starting at forward for the Salukis, 6'5 and a junior from Benton, Illinois, number 30, Randy House. At forward for the Braves, a 6'7 senior from Havana, Illinois, number 40, Trevor Trimpe. At forward for the Salukis, a 6'8 freshman from Centralia, Illinois, number 40, Rick Shipley. Starting at center for Bradley, 6'8 and a sophomore from Springfield, Illinois, number 53, Luke Jackson. Starting at center for the Salukis, 6'9 and a senior from Cleveland, Ohio, wearing 00, Tim Richardson. Starting at a guard spot for Bradley, a 5'11 junior from Chicago, number 12, Anthony Manuel. Starting at guard for the Salukis, a 6-foot junior hailing from Wolfenbüttel, West Germany, number 20, Kai Neuenberger. Starting at the other guard for Bradley, 6'3", a senior from Chicago, number 33, Hersey Hawkins. And starting at guard for the Salukis, 6'2", and a senior from Brooklyn, New York, number 24, Steve Middleton. Back in his second season, the Salukis are coached by Rich Heron in his third season. Our officials this evening are Woody Mayfield, J.C. Lambach, and Jim Murphy.
Well, the folks in Omaha started something. When Hersey Hawkins was introduced, they threw Hershey bars from the student section. It's the Braves at 22-4 and Southern at 12-14. Back with a tip-off in just 1 minute.
We really know how to treat a woman at Methodist. We know you're on the go, at work, at play. We understand your special needs. Young, old, or in between, we can help you be well and stay well with a full range of health services. We're a total resource for today's woman with the latest technology and information on nutrition, exercise, and more. We're in touch with a woman's needs, your needs. We're Methodist Medical Center, and we really know how to treat a woman like you.
Introducing new Extra Gold. Brewery fresh draft beer that'll get your attention. A full-tilt taste with something extra that only one great draft beer can deliver. If you like to drink beer, I mean really like to drink beer, Then run, don't walk to your favorite store and ask for new Extra Gold Draft. It's the biggest taste that's happened to beer since they put it in cans.
Siskel and Ebert, Sunday nights at 11:30 on WEEK.
Our officials tonight are J.C. Leimbach, Woody Mayfield, and Jim Murphy. The ball is in the air, and we are underway, and the Braves will have first shot at the basket to our left. Anthony Manuel pounds the dribble, top of the circle.
Southern Illinois starting off in the 2-3 zone as they did in Peoria.
Hawkins fires at three and hits it. Here's Steve Middleton, number 24. Drives the lane, a great one-on-one player.
And there's a good matchup to watch. Trevor Trimpe guarding Steve Middleton. Middleton, as you just said, a great one-on-one player, and that's what they want him to do. They want to force that jump shot tonight.
And they did it, and he missed it. Here's Hawkins on the other end, lays it up, and a whistle on the play as he drives the basket. Both of these teams working on winning streaks. The Braves have won 7 in a row, and the Salukis have won 4 in a row. And the foul is on Randy House.
Here comes Hawk, one on 4, and it's an advantage.
He told you the other night that he's going to do that if he has to.
That's right.
He wants the ball, and he's going to try and score with it, no matter how many opponent jerseys are in front of him.
That's right. He wants his second Missouri Valley title for this team, too.
Hawk on the rebound. And Hersey Hawkins, who started the game needing 76 points for a career total, or a season total of 1,000, already has 5.
Luke Jackson up in the air on that block. Be another interesting matchup to watch inside. Luke guarding Tim Richardson. Richardson, a non-entity in Peoria, only 3 points and 6 rebounds. That'll be a good matchup. Richardson had a great game down here at home last year.
This is Randy House to Nurnberger in the corner. A good shooter, and he hits nothing but net.
That's the guy the Bradley coaches say they have to stop. They emphasized that today at practice. He's their best shooter. He's Southern Illinois' best shooter, and they got to stop him.
Jones hands to Hawkins, and he's fouled on the play by Steve Middleton. Middleton, the first Southern Illinois player over 600 points in 11 years. But he got caught with his hands in the cookie jar and on Hersey Hawkins that time. Braves lead in the early going, 5-2. Manuel with the 3, but he's way off the mark. Draws nothing. And the Braves turn it over.
Anthony's had a tough time shooting lately, only 23% in his last 4 games. He was 0 for 6 against Creighton and only 1 for 6 against Tulsa. Ball just hasn't been going down for him.
Middleton tries around Trimpe, shoots over Luke Jackson, and he drew the foul. So just like Hersey Hawkins, Middleton can make things happen in traffic. Seems like Middleton has been overshadowed his entire career. When he was in high school in New York, there were 3 players by the name of David Rivers, Ed Davender, and Derek Chivas playing in the big city.
I've heard of those guys.
And Middleton didn't get a lot of publicity. And here in the Missouri Valley Conference, he plays in the shadow of Hersey Hawkins.
He was quoted in the paper today as saying he'd like to guard Hawk, and he'd like for Hawk to guard him. Well, he's going to get half of that dream tonight. He's going to get to guard Hawk as part of the night. And he knows there are pro scouts here, and he's wanting to impress them as well. He knows they're here to see Hawk, but he might show him a thing or two.
Tipped in by Trevor Trimpe. So the Braves up by 3 again.
Trevor with another one of those rare 2-point baskets.
Nurnberger, a good 3-point artist. No good off the rim. The rebound goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Southern. There are always folks here to see Hersey Hawkins, and tonight among them is Elgin Baylor of the Los Angeles Clippers. House to inbound for Southern. Gets it into Todd Kruger, who is fouled by Luke Jackson.
Well, That kind of thing happens when you go up in the air. The old saying goes, play defense with your feet. Don't leave the ground. We were trying to go for the block that time and got body more than anything.
Todd Kruger at the free throw line where he's shooting 78%. He's a junior from Lone Tree, Iowa. And he pulls the Salukis within a point here in the early going. We've got 17:55 to play in the first half.
Southern goes to a man-to-man. We'll see them switch off tonight. They had some success with the man-to-man up in Peoria, and Rich Herron says they'll play a little bit more of that tonight.
Hawkins with the bomb, no good again. He hit the first one, but he's had trouble connecting since. And the Salukis have a chance to go up for the first time in the ball game as House launches the three. He's short, but follows his own rebound, tipped into the hands of Luke Jackson. Shrimpy with a three. That's no good. Richardson, a bit taller than Hawkins, wins the battle of the boards. Here's Middleton. And Southern Illinois leads on the three-pointer by Steve Middleton.
You better believe this Southern Illinois team is pumped up for this ball game. They've got an entire arena full of folks here behind them, too. There's not an empty seat in the house.
The Braves haven't gone inside much. Another missed three-point attempt. And another rebound for Tim Richardson, the 6'9" senior from Cleveland. Middleton goes 1-on-2, shoots over the defense and banks it in. And the lead is 4 for Southern Illinois as Donald Powell checks in for the Braves. They need someone to do a job on Tim Richardson because he's taken over in the last few moments. Greg Jones comes out.
Salukis shutting off everything on the inside so far for Bradley, and they're cold from outside. Man-to-man this time by the Salukis.
Donald goes inside, and he's fouled by Todd Kruger. Anthony can't be afraid to throw that ball inside.
Good job of posting up that time by Donald. We saw a physical ball game down here last year, so don't be surprised if we see the same thing.
The Braves have won the last 8 meetings between these teams, but in each of the last 2 years, the games down here in Carbondale have been very close ones.
That's right, and a couple of years ago, the year they went to the NCAA, Southern Illinois led the entire way. Bradley didn't lead till the last 10 seconds of the game when Hawk hit a shot going down the lane, and that's a game Rich Herron says they should have won.
We talk a lot about milestones by Hersey Hawkins, but Donald Powell needs only 17 points for a career total of 1,000, and he's one closer. And so are the Braves at 11-8. They're down by 3 now.
Here's the full court pressure. We haven't seen it yet from Bradley. They need to get things going their way. This is an attempt to do that.
House drives, finds Richardson for the jam. If they get a good game out of that fella, look out. He has been very inconsistent this year, but when he plays well, they're tough to handle.
In talking to some of the security guys here before the game, Southern Illinois only had 2 dunks here all season. And if you had to bet, you would have bet Bradley would have got a dunk first.
Braves recover. Here's Powell, and he walked. This place is about to come apart. And before the Braves do, we take a timeout.
Rootworms are the biggest threat to your corn crop each year. And you need the consistent performance of Counter. Last year, tests by major universities in the Corn Belt proved that Counter works best. It prevented economic loss to rootworms in 95% of all tests. The next insecticide prevented economic loss in only 73% of the tests. That's a serious performance gap, and you can't afford a rootworm performance gap. Get Counter at your local AgriCenter dealer.
Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory. Shop here and shop.
Help!
For everything tomorrow's champions need today. Ameritech Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory. Shop here and shop a winner.
For years, the people of Central Illinois have been telling you about Pekin New Car Dealers.
As a woman, it's tough to shop for a car. I feel I'm being taken a lot of times, and I don't think that happened at a dealer in Pekin.
I saved a couple $1,000 at Pekin New Car Dealers.
Isn't it time you found out for yourself? For the best selection, best service before and after the sale, and the best price, look no further than the Pekin New Car Dealers. They have what you're looking for, and they have it for less.
Here comes the bride. Next time on Cheers.
The North Point Video Bradley Player of the Game will be named later tonight. North Point Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. Southern Illinois by 5 here early in the first half. Kruger fakes, shoots, and misses, and so does Richardson on the rebound, but the ball belongs to the Salukis as it goes out of bounds.
Mark, Southern Illinois hasn't had any problems breaking that press so far. Bradley put it on here to try and get the tempo going their way and maybe get some points off their defense.
Middleton with 9 already on his night. Will it be the Salukis' night? The foul is on Middleton away from the ball. Paul Wilson now in the ball game for the Braves. Trevor Trimpe on the Bradley bench, and Rich Herron argues the call.
Yeah, but he's got to like what he's seen so far. Southern Illinois 5 of 8 from the field so far. Everything's going right for him right now.
Manuel holds it high as the Salukis drop back into that zone defense. Here's Luke at the foul line to Manuel, fakes right, goes left, scoops and hits.
Good job that time by Anthony. He knew he wasn't going to hit the outside shot. He's had some trouble with it here in the early going, so he drives and makes something happen that way.
And now Richardson is called underneath as he tries to position for a rebound.
Tim Richardson's been a real disappointment for Southern Illinois so far. The last time he had a game in double-figure scoring was January 11th at Creighton.
He's been a big disappointment, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, but he's played really aggressively here in the opening 5 minutes. Gets a seat right now. A little bit of a talking to, but he's played well here in the early going.
Here's Hawkins with it in front of the Southern Illinois bench. The Hawk with 5 of Bradley's 10 points. A bullet inside to Powell.
Tim Richardson sits down, and look at what happens.
As I recall, that's the way it worked last year in this game down here at Carbondale. Richardson dominated inside, but when he was out of the ball game, the Braves took advantage of it, and now we've got a whistle as House is blocked on his way to the basket, but the foul is on Bradley, and he'll go to the free throw line.
You're absolutely right, Mark. Last year, Tim Richardson sat down in the second half. The Salukis have played Bradley even up, and then Bradley was able to pull away.
Hawkins' first foul.
Randy House is one of those kids that you probably wouldn't think would be a very good basketball player, but he does a lot of things well. He's only 6'5", but he plays very well against bigger people, and I think you'll see that here tonight.
Misses the second free throw, and Luke Jackson is there for the rebound. He's been a valuable player for Southern Illinois. House averaging 14 points a game, and he's a good defensive player, which makes him even more valuable. I don't think he'd have to score a lot of points to play regularly. He's sort of like Trevor Trimpe in that regard. Loose ball recovered by Wilson to Powell for another dunk. So Donald has spent the first half doing chin-ups so far, and the Braves are within 4.
Boy, they got to find somebody to stand around him at least.
Air ball by Middleton. Ahead to Wilson. 2 defenders back, dishes to Hawkins. Paul Wilson with a heads-up play.
Great heads-up play that time. I think earlier in the season, or maybe last year, he would have tried to make one of his acrobatic layups. That time, he thought he wasn't going to get a clear shot, and he dished it off to Hawk. Really smart play by Paul Wilson.
Here's Kruger in traffic, blocked by Donald Powell. Nurnberger launches at 3 and hits. And that breaks the tie.
That's where Bradley's helping man-to-man defense hurts him just a little bit. Anthony was in the lane helping out.
Stolen by Powell and Wilson. Brings the Braves within a point.
Bradley's just out hustling Southern Illinois on the inside when you're coming up with that many loose balls.
And the Braves have done what they've wanted to with Middleton. They've forced him to take the outside shot, and he's not hitting it. Jackson on the turnaround, and the Braves are on top by a digit.
And this has turned into a ping-pong match the last 3 minutes, Mark. Since that last timeout, the tempo has really picked up.
And this is exactly what the Braves want.
You bet.
Ty Nurnberger, who sports the similar hairdo of Anthony Manuel. That is to say, he has none.
You know, he got that cut. He shaved his head to celebrate that triple overtime win Southern Illinois had against Drake. Then he went into a shooting slump, kind of a Samson and Delilah deal.
Rick Shipley hustles over to the scorer's table, but throws it right to Manuel. And now to Hawkins. And the Braves lead is 3. Make it 22-19. And the Hawk has 9 points, averaging 35.5 per game. And Rich Herron wants a timeout. We've got 12:07 to play in the first half, and the Braves, who once trailed,
why the big rush?
I've got to get to University Ford.
What's your hurry? University Ford. And you? University Ford.
Why is everybody rushing to University Ford? People have discovered this really is the best place to buy a new or used car or truck.
Get a $2,400 discount on this Taurus GL 4-door sedan right now at University Ford.
At University Ford, you're always a winner.
Thanks, David.
It's like the right girl with the right man, or the right way with the right man. Take a new step, make your next round. The silver bullet, it won't slow you down. So come on in the cool light, it's the right feel now. To the good life, yeah. Good life, yeah. So come on in the cool light, it's the right feel now.
Dear Abby tells us who's cheating and why. Next, Donahue.
this Bradley basketball telecast is protected by broadcast rights granted by Bradley University and the Missouri Valley Conference. Any rebroadcast or other use without the express written consent of WEEK Television and Bradley University is prohibited. Bradley by 3. They once trailed by 7 at 15-8.
They've really turned things around. The tempo is more to their liking. Southern Illinois hasn't taken care of the ball as well as they had. And Bradley's forced a couple of turnovers. And that's their game.
Middleton drives past Wilson, runs into Powell, no foul, gets his own rebound, but he walked with the ball. Rick Herron thought he was pushed.
Now you see a little bit of the difference on defense there. Trevor Trimpe had kept Middleton from driving for the most part. That time he went around Paul Wilson.
Inside to Hawkins, a great pass by Paul Wilson.
Boy, that's 2. Give him 2. Very nice assist so far.
And then a good play defensively to break up the pass by Middleton.
Paul came into that Tulsa game and really played well. He only scored 5 points, but he did a lot of things. Got a couple of steals, a couple of rebounds.
Historically, Wilson has always played his best games against Southern Illinois. Shipley on the layup. Pulls Southern within 3 again. A year ago, Wilson had games of 26, which still stands as his career high, and 20 against the Salukis.
Man-to-man defense by Southern Illinois.
Hawk breaking toward the basket, but the pass batted out of bounds by a white jersey.
Good help that time by number 40, Rick Shipley. Ty Nurnberger trying to keep up with Hawk that time. They'll zone on the out of bounds.
Wilson with the 3. Kicks off the back iron. A bounce to Hawkins, fakes the jumper, doesn't take it. Sterling Mahan in the ball game for Southern, number 11. Good defensive player. He's matched on Hawkins, but the Hawk hits the three. And the Braves have built up a 6-point lead.
Well, you had to figure Southern Illinois had to hit a stumbling block somewhere. Everything was going their way in the first couple of minutes.
Jackson with the foul line jumper. Shows good range, but doesn't hit it. And David Bush, number 55, is wide open under the basket, but he can't handle it.
Well, that's twice Bradley's gotten lucky. Randy House was back earlier on a break opportunity, and Kai Nurnberger didn't see him. Bradley's got to concentrate and get back on defense themselves, too.
Here's Hawkins going up in a crowd to draw the foul, and he succeeds. It's on Rick Shipley, the 6'9" freshman from Centralia.
Man-to-man defense that time by Southern Illinois. But they help out almost as well as Bradley does. Mahan, Nurnberger, Shipley, and Bush all in there. All in there when Hawk went to the basket.
Hawkins with 14 points. And he is closing in on a number of records this year. As Randy House checks in for Middleton, he'll get a rest. Hawk needed 76 points at the start of the game for a season total of 1,000. And only one other player has ever scored 1,000 points in a Missouri Valley Conference season, and that was Oscar Robertson. Tim Richardson back in, Rick Shipley out.
I think I might have one you don't have. Hawk needs 26 to become the 7th all-time scorer in NCAA history. He would pass Otis Birdsong tonight.
And he has an outside shot at pulling even with Larry Bird in the Missouri Valley Conference all-time scoring race. He was 44 points behind Bird at the start of the game. He's less than 30 behind him now. In fact, he's only 28 back. And we've got 9:50 to play in the first half. So now that we've buried you with numbers, let's see if the Braves can start burying Southern Illinois. Bradley leads by 6.
It's just about tax time, so you're probably used to being buried by numbers right now.
Powell is short. Rebound out to the foul line. Powell back taps it. Picked up by Sterling Mahan on the drive. Lays it up and in.
Southern Illinois takes advantage of a little bit of sloppiness there by Bradley. Ball caromming out.
Hawk almost tipped it in. Powell follows. It's good, it counts. And he was fouled on the play. So Donald having a big night.
Real good effort by Donald Powell. He really fought to get the ball for Bradley the last time down the floor. It didn't work out that way. Southern came up with it. That time he gets the bucket, and he'll work on three-point play now.
Powell with 9, so he is 8 away from a career total of 1,000. Make it 7, and he might reach the 1,000-point club here tonight.
Well, I talked to him before the game for a little bit, and he said he'd like to get that tonight. There's no doubt that he'll get it by the end of the year.
Ball out of bounds, but it still belongs to the Salukis as Steve Middleton checks back in. And Nurnberger takes a seat on the bench. Here's Middleton, who's averaging 29 points per game in his last 8. A bit of a volleyball session won by Middleton. He drives, falls, shoots, and misses. And Shipley was fouled. Somebody got their hands in his face, and I think it was Paul Wilson. J.C. Lionback says it was. A backhander. Middleton is 0 for 7 from the field.
Well, the Bradley coaches, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, wanted to force him to shoot that outside jumper, and he hasn't really done very well shooting it tonight.
I should say he's 0 for his last 7.
That's still not too good.
And he's 3 for 11.
Ooh. Boy, they came out here and couldn't miss anything. Now they can't hit anything.
Hawkins coast to coast. Bradley by 9. Mahan answers at the other end. Here's Wilson. Goes up in a crowd, lost the ball, and look at the play Hawkins just made. Caught it and shot it in one motion, and that's 20 points for the Hawk. We take that play for granted, but the Hawk makes it look easy, doesn't he? A turnover. And then Jackson lost the ball out of bounds.
Well, when you're hustling and working hard, good things happen for you, and Hawk was in position that time, hustling down the floor. You might say that's luck, but you're not lucky if you're not hustling down the floor.
Randy House, number 30. So Rick Shipley, a very good outside shooter for a big fella. We have 7:45 to play in the half. The ball goes out of bounds, but they say Donald Powell touched it last. Bradley with a 9-point lead here in Carbondale, and we'll take a timeout.
You can depend on Methodist to offer women those special programs and services that are so important to good health, like mammography, a low-dose x-ray of the breasts, which is an important tool in detecting cancer in its early stages before it can be felt by hand. Early treatment can significantly enhance your chances of surviving breast cancer. Follow the American Cancer Society guidelines and ask your physician about mammography at Methodist.
For more information, call 674-2273.
Farmers who switch to Eradicane are getting better grass control. Isn't that right, Gary?
It did an excellent job controlling our grasses. Mainly foxtail is our big grass problem, and we're very happy with Eradicane.
How about you, Alan?
I watched my neighbor putting on Eradicane with his fertilizer through impregnation, and I tried it, and it just cleaned up my grasses really well.
For better grass control than Dual or Lasso, farmers like you are switching to Eradicane.
The Don DeLuise.
Next Saturday's episode of Golden Girls can be seen at a special time this week, Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock, right here on WEEK. 7:41 to play in the half, and Bradley has jumped out to a 9-point lead after they trailed at 1 point in the game by 7. And Hersey Hawkins has 20 points already, so that leaves him only 24 away from passing Larry Bird, who is second on the Missouri Valley Conference's all-time scoring list.
In talking to Rich Herron today, asking the key to stopping Bradley, he says, don't get too caught up in trying to stop Hawkins. And they haven't done that so far. 20 points already. He knows Bradley's got too many other good players.
Well, we know that offensively, if you stop Anthony Manuel, it shuts the whole offense down. Hawkins. And the basket will count as he's fouled and goes to the line for more.
And here's where those seemingly endless hours of running up and down the floor at Robertson Fieldhouse pay off. Great touch pass by Paul Wilson. Great job of running the break. They do it just as well as any NBA team. Pretty close.
You see Middleton, he didn't know if he was coming or going.
Well, these guys, Southern Illinois runs pretty well.
A rare miss for the Hawk.
But they don't run as often as Bradley does, and they're a little bit tired. And I think that's one reason Tim Richardson's sitting down, too. In a full-court game, he's just not as effective.
Stolen by Hawkins. Ahead to Wilson. And Paul lays it in, and the Braves' lead is now a big 13.
And add an assist for Hersey Hawkins. That ball scraped the fingernails of the Southern Illinois player.
Middleton now has missed his last 8 shots, and he's charged with the foul.
Hawk would have had another assist to Paul that time if he wouldn't have gotten bumped.
That's 3 fouls on Middleton now, on Steve Middleton Knight. And it looks like he's going to spend part of it on the bench because he's come out of the game for Sterling Mahan.
maybe a little bit too aggressive. A couple of fouls haven't really been too smart.
Creighton has defeated Drake 74-71. And so that means that Southern Illinois will be seeded 4th in the Missouri Valley Tournament regardless of what they do in this ball game.
I believe so. They were going to play the winner of that ball game either way, so it really didn't matter too much.
Here's Sternberger with the 3. It counts and a foul. This could be a 4-point play.
The 3-point basket by Sternberger is good. The foul called on number 12, Anthony Manuel. First personal foul.
Anthony Manuel was inside trying to help out, and apparently got a piece of Kai Nurnberger.
A 4-point play for Southern, but that still leaves them 11 points behind. Here's Powell, fronted by Shipley. Hawkins with the rebound, spills off the rim into the hands of Todd Kruger, number 33. Now Nurnberger to Shipley on the other end. That misses. Graves come racing back the other way. Manuel in traffic to Hawkins. I think he got away with one, although he never had control. And the Braves will inbound along the sidelines. Rich Herron does his officiating for us.
Rich Herron's a good old Southern Illinois boy, and he just likes to help out a little bit.
Or is that the Watusi? I'm not...
He's a character, so he might be doing a little bit of a dance down there. I think that's the hustle.
There's Manuel outside against Nurnberger. The lob to Jackson, lost the ball, gets it back, had it stripped. Luke couldn't hang on to it either time. Bradley by 11. Inside 6 minutes to play in the half. Here's Kruger. Shipley lays it in off the glass. Rick Shipley.
Luke Jackson did about everything he could on defense that time. He got knocked to the floor.
And Mahan is called for the foul. So the Braves have been able to exploit the Salukis. They have racked up the fouls here in the first half.
Now you couldn't see the foul there. Rich Herron wanted a holding call. Felt Mahan was held coming through the pick.
Ten points for Donald. Make it 11.
And you really got to be impressed with the mental toughness of Donald Powell. Came in the start of the season. Coaches were a little bit down on him. He didn't start, and he's worked his way back into playing and being a real contributor to this ball team.
A dozen for Powell, and a 10-point lead for the Braves. Make it 11 with that last free throw. And Powell sits down for Jerry Thomas, who checks into the ball game, averaging 6.7 points per game. He is not a great player on the road. He averages only 4 points per game on the road and 10 points per game at home. JT doing the job on defense there, and he fouls Todd Kruger.
You'll see him put a hand on him here. I think if he would have kept the hand off him, he would have been all right. He got the hand on him. Todd Kruger with some good aggressiveness for the basket that time.
And Kruger hits the first free throw. He can get the deficit inside double figures if he cans this one. He does.
Southern trying a little pressure pressure there to slow Bradley down, maybe.
Five minutes to go in the half.
Man-to-man by Southern.
Wilson with the bomb. That'll take some of the starch out. Here's the lob to Kruger. Again, Thomas all over him.
Good defense that time. He fronted his man. The ball came in, and he got around. He cut him off on the baseline. Good job by JT.
Nurnberger with the pass inside to Mahan. And 6'1" Sterling Mahan goes in the tall timber to score. 47-37 Braves. Bradley with a win would win the Missouri Valley Conference title outright. Luke Jackson on the baseline. Creighton has already defeated Drake tonight, 74-71.
That might mean trouble for Gary Garner at Drake.
There have been rumors that his job is in jeopardy, especially after that tirade a week ago when the Bulldogs lost to Illinois State as Randy House scores, and Garner went berserk after the game about the officiating. Hawk shoots off the pass and misses. Nurnberger with a three. I think Hawkins got a piece of it. Luke Jackson almost tipped it in his own basket. And a jump ball is called, and it will belong to the Braves on the alternating possession. Basketball on the alternating possession. Down to 3.5 left to go in the first half of tonight's ball game. Braves by 10 here at Carbondale.
Corn growers around here know Counter gives you more. More rootworm control, more root mass, more corn. And Counter in furrow gives you more protection where it's needed most. Counter consistently outperforms every other rootworm insecticide, and you can't afford a performance gap. So get more of what you use an insecticide for. Get Counter at your local Agri-Center dealer.
There goes Doris, my next-door neighbor and practically my best friend. Every time I see her, I can't help but think of her accident. She was in the hospital for weeks, and on top of that, once she got out, she had to hire somebody to help her with the kids, and none of it was her fault. If it weren't for Joe Jansen, she would have been wiped out. He knew exactly how to help her. It was a horrible time for her, but thanks to Jansen, money was the least of her worries. I sure don't mean to look on the dark side, but it's nice to know there's a Jansen out there.
Pro Wrestling This Week, Saturdays at midnight on WEEK.
Missouri Valley Conference postseason tournament tickets are now on sale. And we want to remind you that any sold-out games for the Missouri Valley Conference tournament at Carver Arena will be seen right here on WEEK. Next Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday, the night of the finals. And right now the Braves have a 10-point lead in their quest for that #1 seeding in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament.
Well, officially, it's Steve Middleton night here in Carbondale, but Percy Hawkins taking over the show, as usually happens. He's 69% from the field, 9 of 13. Putting on a show here in the early going.
You know, if the Braves don't win here tonight, although they would tie for the Missouri Valley Conference title with Wichita State, it would be the Shockers who would get the #1 seeding in the tournament. So that is very important because the Braves certainly don't want to play Tulsa in the first round. That's the team that has given them the most trouble this year, playing two very close games against the Braves, and Bradley escaped with a 65-62 victory in Tulsa and a 67-62 win at Carver Arena. David Bush, number 55, from Hoopston.
The Braves are very aware of that too, Mark. They know they don't want to play Tulsa. They'd much rather play Indiana State, even though they've beaten them twice.
Hawkins is blocked. Bush with the rejection. Mahan with the dribble. He comes racing up the floor to Nurnberger, who drops the pass, and the Braves take over on the turnover. We're down to 2:37 to play in our first half.
There's a little bit of the inexperience on the break. That pass down around Nurnberger's ankles. Man-to-man by Southern.
Hawkins inside. He was fouled as he went up for the shot as the fans begin to chant the name Hersey. And you know, when they did that in Detroit, Hersey went on to score 63 points.
Well, he is so loosey-goosey. I mean, this is the most pressure-packed game of the season, I would have to say. I mean, it all comes down to tonight. And Hawk is joking around before the game. He says, asking me what the arena record is for this place. He says, I just have that kind of feeling tonight. And the whole team, you know, as much pressure as there is on tonight's game, and as much as they want to win the Valley outright, they really handle it well. They don't tense up. They just relax and go out there and have a good time.
As long as you bring that up, the arena record here at Carbondale is 46 by Southern's Dick Garrett back in 1968, but Hawkins already has 26 points.
Well, maybe he's got a crystal ball. Maybe he knows what he's talking about.
They told you he's 9 of 13 from the field tonight, and he came into this ball game shooting at 58% in his last 4 games. Nurnberger with the bullseye, and now a foul on Randy House, and I think that's his 3rd. It is.
Anthony got a break that time, too, because he pushed off. House was holding him, but Anthony pushed off. Usually it's the retaliation that gets called. And I thought for sure that call was going to go against Anthony because he did push off.
So Middleton has 3 and House has 3. And they have some foul trouble from 2 of their most important players. Middleton's on the bench. And so is Richardson. He only has 1 foul, but he's just dead tired.
Well, if memory serves me correctly, they fouled out all 5 starters last year down here, trying to stay close to Bradley.
(53-44) Bradley. Inside 2 minutes to play in the first half. Here's Nurnberger. He just hit the long shot to Kruger. Open, misses. Mahan recovers and lays it in. Sterling Mahan was Sterling right there. 8 points for him.
And now Southern is hustling after those loose balls and coming up with them and turning them into points. Oh, Wilson nailed his last 3. That one was a little long.
Kruger clears the boards with 1:07 to play. They can get within 5 or within 4 with a 3. Shipley, make it Kruger. And JT is there to rip it out of the air. Inside a minute to play in the half. That would have been a big basket. Hawkins scores, and he's fouled from behind. That's 28 already for him.
The foul called on 33, Todd Kruger.
Kruger is charged with a foul, and here it is. An alert play to pick up the loose ball. It was intended for Jerry Thomas.
Yeah, that was almost a disaster. Jerry couldn't hold on to the ball, and Hawk was right there again.
He might score 60 tonight. He could have 30 by halftime. He's got 29. According to our statistician, Scott Weddle, who's from Metamora and is a student here at Southern Illinois, and he wants to say hello to all the Metamora Redbirds back home. This is House operating outside to Nurnberger. The shot clock is off. You can see the game clock on your screen with Bradley up by 10. This place is wired for Hersey Hawkins and the Braves, and for a while they were going nuts with Southern on top 15-8 in the early going. They're running out of time. Nurnberger gets it off,
And Kruger beats the buzzer. So the Bradley lead won't be double figures as they head to the locker room at halftime, thanks to Todd Kruger, who crashed the boards. And we hit the intermission with the Braves on top 56-48.
There are all kinds of insurance for all kinds of people. Whatever your insurance needs, you'll find full protection and personal attention at Swinford Insurance, Central House Plaza, Pekin.
Joe, did you know that Diphenate insecticide gave more dependable rootworm control than Furadan or Lorsban?
No, I didn't. I'm going with Diphenate next time.
Diphenate for stand-up control. Jim, did you know that Diphenate gave more dependable rootworm control than Furadan or Lorsban?
No, I didn't.
Next year, Diphenate.
Diphenate for stand-up control.
Hi, I'm Dean Grimm. Back in 1920, when Grimm TV and Appliance first opened their doors, my grandfather, father, and uncles began to build a reputation for Grimm's, offering their customers fair prices, backed by good service and customer satisfaction. That family philosophy has become a tradition at Grimm's. For value, service, and the best in RCA electronics, Grimm TV and Appliance will serve you better because we care. Morton, Peoria, and Bloomington.
Coming up next time on Cheers.
30 here says they tried to Natski to Nightski.
Hey, the gang's all here for Boston's most awaited wedding.
Oh, yuck! Double yuck!
But first, some last-minute advice.
Run, Sammy. Run like the wind.
It's the moment we've all been betting on. Okay, folks, will they or won't they? Wait and see.
This is inhuman.
Next time on Cheers.
Tuesday night at 6:30 on WEEK.
During our Whirlpool 100% customer commitment sale, you're going to like our low price. That's a low price. And you're going to like the quality and performance of these Whirlpool appliances, or they'll make it right or replace it free for up to a year. Way to go, little buddy. There's a lot to like now. Whoa, at the Whirlpool 100% customer commitment sale.
At North Point Video, Audio and Appliance in Peoria and Morton.
On our next show, families reunited after years apart.
This exclusive telecast is brought to you in part by Coors, the beer with the difference worth tasting. Coors is the one. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down with the silver bullet. By University Ford, where you're always a winner. By Counter, more performance, more consistency. Counter gives you more. By Methodist Medical Center of Illinois. By the Country Company's Insurance. You've got the country behind you. By ICI, makers of Eradicane and Diphenate. And by North Point Video, Audio and Appliance, Peoria and Morton.
Est-ce que l'immobilier comme une langue étrangère pour vous? Laissez-moi vous aider à obtenir les résultats désirés. Call Dennis Steer at 686-5000. Welcome to Peoria Toyota Volvo.
I suppose you're going to try to sell me a new Toyota. I'm busy and I don't need a lot of chit-chat. The first thing you're going to tell me is that Toyota's reputation for quality is legendary. And then you're going to tell me Toyota's high-tech engineering makes driving so much more enjoyable. And I'm sure you'll talk about the Toyota Touch when it comes to service. Will you talk me into it? I'll take it.
Who could ask for anything more?
For a quick, inexpensive meal, you can have this or Shakey's Buffet. Cost about the same, but you get a little bit more at Shakey's. A salad bar loaded with garden fresh vegetables, a variety of Shakey's delicious pizza, golden fried chicken and deep fried potatoes, piping hot pasta, and more. Well, that's the long and the short of it.
Come to Shakey's in Peoria, East Peoria, and Bloomington.
Come home to WEEK weekday afternoons.
I cheat because I enjoy it, I love it.
If they tell you they're separated from their wives, it's since breakfast.
Yes. It all begins at 3 on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Win, lose, or draw, the game that draws your favorite stars is next at 4.
Get the picture?
The unpredictable Love Connection is up at 4:30.
She demanded to see my chest.
Come home to Central Illinois' favorites, the Oprah Winfrey Show, Win, Lose, or Draw, and Love Connection, weekday afternoons on WEEK.
I'm about to show you a tool designed to guarantee weed and grass control, but it only works with a call to this number,
For all the facts about how we'll take your toughest soybean weed and grass problems, recommend a control program using our products or even theirs, and guarantee it'll work. No carryover, no stunning, or your respray chemicals free. Now you know a tool isn't worth much unless you use it, so call.
No big guarantee.
After all, what have you got to lose?
Siskel and Ebert, Sunday nights at 11:30 on WEEK.
The North Point Video Bradley Player of the Game will be named later on tonight. North Point Video will make a donation in the name of that player to Bradley University's General Scholarship Fund. And at halftime here at Carbondale's SIU Arena, the Braves lead Southern Illinois 56-48, thanks mostly to Hersey Hawkins' 29 points.
He's a runaway with Player of the Game so far. It's Steve Middleton night, but Hawk has just really dominated. He's been in the right place at the right time for a lot of loose balls. He's come up with a lot of them on the inside. The game was really going Southern's way there in the early going. You know, they were doing just about everything right in the first 5 minutes. I think the crowd really helped them quite a bit. And then Bradley just turned the entire tempo around after a timeout and took control.
So it's an 8-point Bradley lead at halftime, and we'll be back in just 1 minute. But first, some words from our friends at Bradley.
I think that when I get older and I'm telling my children and my grandchildren about my experience at Bradley University, I'd like to share with them all the wonderful times I had in the theater department. Being able to work on productions, whether it was backstage running props or being stage manager, or whether I had the lead in the show, it was always a really special time for me to be close to the people in that department, especially the different directors and the different professors I was able to work with.
Take it slower, milk it, stay for. Be at what?
Be as thou always want to be.
Be as thou always want. Do I need to shade it? Oh God, make music out of that. Have it. Go ahead.
I'd like to share with them the time that Jeffrey Holder came to campus, and he sat in on some of our classes and he lectured to us, and he told us that each one of us has our own special shining star, and that whenever we really needed it, it was going to be there for us. And I think that was a really inspiring moment in my life.
Why the big rush?
I've got to get to University Ford.
What's your hurry? University Ford. And you?
University Ford. Why is everybody rushing to University Ford? People have discovered this really is the best place to buy a new or used car or truck.
Discounts to $1,507 on four-door Escorts. Right now at University Ford.
At University Ford, you're always a winner.
Thanks, David.
With Lee Hall, Mark Strauss at SIU Arena in Carbondale, where the Braves lead at halftime, 56-48. And you know, in order for WEEK to bring you Bradley basketball, it takes a lot of talented people working behind the scenes. We'd like to thank the following people for all the help they've provided us this season. At the Peoria Civic Center, Director of Operations Jeff Chellisvig, Arena Operations Manager Tom Praise, and the entire Carver Arena staff. Bradley Sports Information Department, Joe D'Alfonso and Bo Ryan. WTVP Channel 47 and their remote truck crew headed by John Grubbs. WWCT 106 for the 1060s music. And at WEEK, we want to salute some of our own people, including News Director Phil Supple for loaning us his staff and making sure the microwave truck was ready and working for every game. Promotions Department, Amy Blaine, Julie Sattler, and Promotions Manager Dennis Yupa. Engineer Dick Hillig for helping out on set for the games. And Production Secretary Cindy Huggins, who has to type up many of the formats and do a lot of the clerical work and answer many of the calls as we get ready for our season and follow it through. You know, there are 7 seniors on Bradley, and those players have given us some exciting moments during their careers. Producer Steve Shaw sifted through his highlight tapes, and he put together some of the most powerful and creative baskets that the Braves have thrilled us with. It is a timeless performance. Some magic moments as we watch the Bradley Braves on the warpath. It's 56-48 Bradley at halftime here at SIU, and we'll be back to Carbondale's SIU Arena in just a minute.
Starting your own business, whatever the size, isn't easy. It takes hard work, time, and money.
And that's why I bank at the First National Bank of Peoria. They made it their business to understand my business, and I like that in a bank.
Whether you need a loan, checking or savings account, or employee benefits plan, Peoria's First Bank has all the services you need to make your business grow.
No matter what size your business, you're sure to get results. The First National Bank of Peoria. We'd like to talk business with you. The Havana Merchants would like to congratulate Trevor Trimpe and the Bradley Braves. Here's to a successful 87-88 basketball season. Come visit our community, a nice place to live.
With Lee Hall, Mark Strauss at SIU Arena in Carbondale. And before we start the second half, let's throw it back to our studio in Peoria for a news update with Kelly Morgan.
Good evening. Coming up after the game on News 25 Nightside, Morton residents get a chance to speak their minds about a proposed tax increase to better fund education. That increase could cost homeowners $300 more per year in property taxes. Also tonight, what some Peoria Housing Authority residents think can be done to improve public housing in Peoria. NAACP President John Gwynn wants some local businesses to improve their hiring practices of minorities. We'll have more on that. And nationally, some harsh criticism of the president over Panama and over his domestic drug fighting programs. Those stories and more, plus Hooley's Tuesday forecast, and Tim Perkins with the sports. We'll return to Carbondale and the second half of the SIU Bradley game right after this.
When you want to fill up but you're running a little low, there's only one thing to do. Cruise on into Taco Bell for a fast meal hot deal. A delicious burrito supreme for just $1.29.
You drive safely now.
The fast meal hot deal. Now just $1.29. Be there.
Hello, Taco Bell.
We really know how to treat a woman at Methodist. We know you're on the go, at work, at play. We understand your special needs. Young, old, or in between, we can help you be well and stay well with a full range of health services. We're a total resource for today's woman with the latest technology and information on nutrition, exercise, and more. We're in touch with a woman's needs, your needs. We're Methodist Medical Center, and we really know how to treat a woman like you.
Which Central Illinois law firm has over 65 years combined experience in personal injury cases? Goldfine and Bold.
Which law firm represents the largest number of personal injury victims?
Goldfine and Bold.
Which law firm is the leader in personal injury and workers' compensation awards?
Goldfine and Bold.
What's the first thing you should do if you're injured?
Call Goldfine and Bold. There's no charge to discuss your case. Don't settle for less.
Bradley is an excellent place to have many, many opportunities to do many, many different things. Not only did I receive a fine education here in the College of Engineering and Technology, but I also had the opportunity to play varsity baseball at a Division I athletic school. Bradley being a fine school and engineering being a difficult discipline as it is, I was very surprised to find out that I had received the Lincoln Academy Student Laureate Award for 1987. It was given to me in the House Chambers in Springfield, and the governor and his wife presented me with the award. Being drafted by a professional baseball team was again kind of a great end to a college career. I met a lot of people, did a lot of interesting things. I'll always cherish those memories and those experiences that I've had at Bradley.
You're looking down the barrel of the biggest news in beer since they put it in cans. Say hello to new Extra Gold Draft. A full tilt taste with something extra that only one great draft beer can deliver. If you like to drink beer, I mean really like to drink beer, this one's going to turn your head around. The name is Extra Gold Draft. The biggest taste that's happened to beer since they put it in cans.
We are moments away from the start of the second half here at SIU Arena, and the Braves send out Manuel, Hawkins, Trimpey, Luke Jackson, and Donald Powell. And the Braves will have the ball to start the second half. Bradley shot 56% in the first half, including a remarkable run by Hersey Hawkins, 10 of 15. He's got 29 points. The Braves were out-rebounded 24-18 and committed only 2 turnovers. And none of those were by Anthony Manuel. Here's Powell underneath, lays it up, and he's fouled. So the Braves had the statistical edge in the first half, but the big one was on the scoreboard where they're leading 56-48. And early here in the second half, Donald Powell will go to the free throw line. He scored 12 in the first half. He's Bradley's second highest scorer in the ball game. Bradley only committed 6 fouls in the first half of the ball game. And Donald is 4 away from 1,000 points. They've got Donald listed for 10 points in the first half, so this gives him 11, and he is 6 away. And he hits it. Now he has a dozen.
Donald did a good job coming off the bench there in the first half when Richardson went out, and he really got helped get things going Bradley's way. He really took over inside. We're going to see Donald matched up against Richardson right here. That's a good one to watch.
Here's House on the baseline to Nurenberger for the jumper. No good. Richardson grabbed the ball but couldn't hold on, and it goes out of bounds, and the Braves take over. Rich Herron almost run over there.
Good job that time on Nurenberger. Hawk came over and helped out, and he didn't get the shot away cleanly.
Powell with the lean in, rattles in and out. Hawkins on the rebound. Great pass to Luke Jackson as he threw it around the waist of a Southern Illinois player.
That's Hawk's 4th assist. He and Paul Wilson really helped out Anthony Manuel there in the first half. Really got the ball to the guys when they had a good opportunity to score.
Richardson couldn't drain it. And the Braves can go up by 14. Here's Luke on the turnaround. He got it.
Boy, and that's the most improved part of his game. He's really increased his range over a year ago.
The Braves have scored the first 6 points of the half. Middleton continues to be ice cold from the field. And Richardson is fouled by Anthony Manuel.
straight misses by Steve Middleton. And that's the second foul on Anthony.
Yeah, you take away his poor shooting performance in the first half. SIU is over 50%. He really dragged him down on his night.
Hawkins on the rebound. And that is his 7th of the game. Hawk is wide open. No good. Hustles after the loose ball. And the Braves still control. Here's Powell on the blocks. Middleton outduels Jackson for the rebound. And then he lost the ball, but was he fouled? Anthony with 3 personal fouls now, and he is the only Brave with more than 1.
Look of disgust on Mo McCone's face, and I can read his lips from here. Why? Don't want Anthony to get in foul trouble. Braves up by 14, but we've seen what this Saluki team can do here at home.
And once again, the call goes against the Braves. Jim Murphy indicating the foul is on Trevor Trimpe, his 2nd of the ball game. Well, point guard is one spot that the Braves can't afford to get into foul trouble in. They just don't have any depth at that position. They'd have to bring Paul Wilson in to play it. That injury to Len Bertolini that put him out for the season could down the road cost them if Anthony in the tournament or in the NCAA tournament gets into foul trouble or fouls out of a ball game. 14 points for Steve Middleton to bring the Salukis within a dozen. Now the loose ball batted around, picked up by number 00 Richardson. Middleton goes inside to Shipley in the corner. And it's a 10-point game again.
Last time down, the Braves tried to work it inside to Donald Powell. They let Hawk cut around that low post pick and tried to work the ball in on the post.
Trimpe with a foot on the stripe would not have been a three-pointer. And Shipley, who once collected 19 rebounds this year, was there to grab this one. Middleton scores, but a foul before the shot on Trevor Trimpe. And he has 3.
Steve Middleton with the ball in the open court is a very dangerous weapon for Southern Illinois. Trevor did an effective job in the first half of forcing him to shoot the jumper from outside. On the break, though, it's a different story. Middleton's confident and he'll take the ball to the hoop.
Bradley's lead is 10 with 7:14 to play in the game. Here's Richardson, lost it. And the Braves take over.
Rich Herron can't keep his socks up, and he can't figure out why Tim Richardson isn't playing better for him this year. Boy, the way we saw him play down here last year, I thought for sure he would be an All-Missouri Valley Conference performer this year. It hasn't happened.
32 for the Hawk, and he's got 3 three-pointers tonight. Middleton. Here's Hawkins, but he walked. Right in front of the Bradley bench, and Jim Murphy will get an earful from Stan Albeck. Can you read lips? I hope so, because I can't tell you what he said. I know what he said, but I can't tell you. And Middleton hits the 3, but Hawkins is wide open. That's where you never get any momentum against the Braves. You hit a 3, they're right back at you before you even have a chance to figure out what the score is.
Yeah, don't stand around and admire your shot too long, because Bradley will be right back down your throat. Good job that time by Middleton to draw the contact on the shot. It wasn't really that good a shot. Picked up his dribble and really didn't have anywhere to go, and he drew the contact from Paul.
That's the second on Wilson.
Middleton has done a better job here in the opening minutes of the second half of taking the ball to the hoop and really causing something to happen. He wasn't able to do that in the first half.
Well, he has 19 points And you saw Todd Kruger check into the ball game for Southern Illinois. They have Kruger, House, Middleton, Nernberger, and Richardson. So Shipley's on the bench. I think Rich Herron needs a belt and garters for his socks. He's pulling everything up.
Now, gets a lot of work in on the sideline.
The pass to Powell, and it just falls in. Here's Richardson. Outside Kruger. He had the shot, but he didn't take it. He heard footsteps. 15:50 to play in the ball game. Here's House to Nernberger, who were teammates at Benton High School under Coach Rich Herron. When he was a high school coach there, he spent 25 years at Benton. And now Luke Jackson. He's charged with the foul, his second.
Randy House doing a very good job this evening of cutting through the lane and making good cuts. Left Anthony Manuel behind him, and Luke had to come over and help out, and he drew the foul.
Luke had a pretty good ball game when these two teams met in January. He was 6 of 6 from the field for 12 points, and add 9 rebounds to that, and you can tell that he contributed greatly in that 96-65 win that was somewhat overshadowed by Hersey Hawkins becoming the Braves' all-time scoring leader. As Randy House hits the free throw.
He was playing like he had too much sugar in that game. He was all over the place, blocking shots, stealing the ball.
We've got a timeout on the floor. Bradley's lead was 8 at halftime, and it's 8 here.
Rootworms are the biggest threat to your corn crop each year, and you need the consistent performance of Counter. Last year, tests by major universities in the Corn Belt proved that Counter works best. It prevented economic loss to rootworms in 95% of all tests. The next insecticide prevented economic loss in only 73% of the tests. That's a serious performance gap, and you can't afford a rootworm performance gap. Get Counter at your local AgriCenter dealer. The day you drive out with a new car, you start driving down the value month after month. With most auto insurance, total a car 2 years later and you just get the used car value. But with Country Company's Keeper policy, if your car is wrecked beyond repair, you get a brand new car. Same make and model, even if it costs more than you paid at first. So get the Country behind you.
You got the Country Company.
When your town finds out new Extra Gold draft beer is here, stand back. When you and your friends catch on to the full tilt taste of new Extra Gold, watch out. Because if you like to drink beer, I mean really like to drink beer, you're in for some serious fun. Extra Gold Draft. The biggest taste that's happened to beer since they put it in cans.
Join Stan Albeck this Sunday afternoon at 12:30 as he talks about the Braves recruits for next season and takes a musical look at Bradley's championship season. All that and more on the Stan Albeck Show Sunday afternoon at 12:30 right here on WEEK.
Some young men from Peoria would like to say hello to their folks back home. Tim McCrae, Chad Cunningham, and Dave George would like to say hello to all their friends and family back in Peoria. And SIU senior Alex Wellmaker would like to say hi to Todd Hendricks, a junior at Bradley.
69-61 Braves. Here's Kruger. They're within 6, and that's the closest they've been for a while. And then the Braves turn it over as traveling is called by Woody Mayfield. And it becomes a big possession for the Salukis.
Stan Albeck didn't want this. He didn't want Southern to come out and get back in the ball game and bring the crowd back into it. We saw what that did for Southern Illinois in the opening minutes of the game.
Middleton wants the ball, and he scores.
Southern is within 4. And the crowd is back into the ball game. Here's Wilson. And that was from NBA three-point range. Manuel fakes the bomb, but Nurnberger picks him up. He shoots over him anyway and misses. Middleton collects the carry. Southern Illinois within 4 can get it within 2. And with a 3, within a digit. Here's Middleton. Fakes, fires, and he was fouled by Paul Wilson. Had that ball gone in, he would have been going to the line with a chance to cut it to 1. As it is, Middleton, if he were to hit both free throws, would make it a 2-point ball game as Jerry Thomas takes Paul Wilson's place on the floor. Wilson takes a seat with 3 fouls and 7 points.
Steve Middleton taking a page out of Hersey Hawkins' book. It's Steve Middleton night, and he was pretty lackluster in the first half. He's really turned up the intensity here in the second.
Middleton at the line with 23 points. Make it 24.
He's really taken charge for Southern Illinois, Mark. He's got the ball. He's taking it to the basket, making something happen. He's driving to the basket, forcing Bradley to help out.
Steve Middleton almost transferred after his freshman season when Alan Van Winkle left. They talked him into staying, and he's glad he did. He's their 3rd all-time leading scorer, and with 25 points tonight, he has brought the Salukis within 2. Here's the other marquee player, Hersey Hawkins, rattles in and out. Kruger on the rebound, and this is for the tie. He traveled. Randy House walked, and I think they made one pass too many.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit caught up in the excitement here, I think.
13:45 to play. 69-67 Braves. They need a basket. Hawkins with the 3.
Are you surprised who came up with it?
Not at all.
I didn't think so.
Middleton couldn't answer with the bomb. Jerry Thomas collects the long rebound. It's loose. Richardson there to pull it down. And Nurnberger. Oh. Here's House inside. He's fouled by Donald Powell. That's the first foul on Donald.
Well, Luke Jackson hit the floor. A lot of contact on the inside. A lot of contact.
And Stan checks the scoreboard, which reads 72-67 in favor of Bradley. Rick Shipley, the 6'9 freshman from Centralia, Illinois, checks in. Had 13 rebounds against the Braves back in January when these teams played at Carbondale Arena, and 8 points. House, a good free throw shooter, 82%.
Well, this is a really good free throw shooting team, Mark. They're up in the 70% range. That's be an important factor before this game's over. Let's hope not. Bradley hasn't had too much success there so far.
He hits them both, and we have a timeout. I'm sorry, we do not have a timeout. Braves inbound, down the court they come, leading by 3. Big defensive series for the Salukis. And there's Hawkins again. 39 points.
Made something out of nothing. He had 2 men surrounding him, and he just hesitated just a little bit and made his way through.
Richardson with the rebound. When he's been in there, he's played well tonight.
He hasn't put a lot of points on the board, but he's taken up a lot of space.
Bradley leads by 3. Make it 1. Manuel forced the shot. the Salukis can take the lead. They do. Southern Illinois leads for the first time since the early going.
It's very important for Bradley to take a good shot this time. Anthony's forced a couple of shots. And that's very high percentage right there.
Gary Thomas on the foul, and here it is.
Give Steve Middleton a lot of credit. He didn't have the best of first halves. He was 4 of 13 from the field. He has really taken control of this ball game here in the second half.
Middleton has 27 points. On Steve Middleton night. They retired his jersey before the game. He has tied the game with the first free throw. And it remains tied. Bradley had double-digit leads in the first half, but it's been erased. Manuel with the three-pointer. And Anthony, who Lee mentioned in the first half, has been having shooting problems, only 29% in his last 5 games, hands the big bomb. Yeah. 7 points for him.
Give him a lot of credit. He knocked it down when he had to.
Powell with the rebound. Stolen by Middleton. It goes out of bounds, and it belongs to Bradley. J.C. Leimbach made that call in front of the SIU bench, and he's hearing about it. Braves lead by 3.
Those special programs and services that are so important to good health, like mammography, a low-dose X-ray of the breasts, which is an important tool in detecting cancer in its early stages before it can be felt by hand. Early treatment can significantly enhance your chances of surviving breast cancer. Follow the American Cancer Society guidelines and ask your physician about mammography at Methodist.
For more information, call 674-2273.
Hi, this is Stan Allback, and this is my man for the best car deals in the Peoria area. Bruce Sowers at Velde Ford and Velde Lincoln Mercury.
Thanks, Stan. We've got the best selection of new and used cars and trucks at the lowest prices right here at Velde Ford and Velde Lincoln Mercury. If you think about it, why would you want to go anywhere else? Come in and join the Velde team today.
Bradley and Velde, the 2 hottest teams in Central Illinois. And remember, if he can't beat your best deal, he'll give you the car free. Just tell him Stan sent you.
It's the right spot on the right day when a Coors Light is the only way. There's a new look all over town. It's a silver bullet and it won't slow you down. Come on, it's a Coors Light. It's the right beer now. To the good life, yeah. The good life, yeah. So come on, it's a Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
Join my partner Mark Strauss next Tuesday night, March 8 at 8 o'clock for Bradley Braves, the second season, a special half-hour look at one of the Braves' best years. Tuesday night, March 8 at 8 here on WEEK, and it's been an exciting one.
That'll be right before the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament Final on WEEK. We hope the Braves are in it. Maybe it'll be Bradley and ISU.
Well, that'd be the best of both worlds, wouldn't it?
Braves by 3 with 10:45 to play in the ball game. They're always tough down here in Carbondale. Powell bats it away.
Good overplay that time by Donald. Big turnover.
Hawkins with 41 points to Luke Jackson. He walked and got away with it. And Luke has 10 points.
Big shot for Luke that time. Showing a lot of maturity for a sophomore. Southern had Kai Nurnberger open on the wing that time with Anthony helping out, but they didn't get the ball to him.
Middleton pops the three, and Hawkins fouls David Bush as the two go high for the rebound. That's only the second against Hersey. Bush is 6'10", but watch both arms just as high.
Take that, Sport Magazine.
David Bush shoots 50% from the free throw line. Sat out all of last season after he tore up ligaments in his ankle. So he's a redshirt freshman. Bradley's lead is 4, and it still is. Loose ball. Still loose. Hawkins takes over. Jerry Thomas to Hawkins, and he's fouled by Bush. So David Bush returns the favor. Hawk fouled him at the other end, and now Hawkins goes to the free throw line on this end.
Hawk might have got away with one there. The fans down at that end wanted to travel.
Tim Richardson back in the ball game. The 6'9" senior from Cleveland who averages 5.8 points and 5.8 rebounds per game. Hawk will tie Larry Bird. And he is now number 2 with Bird on the Missouri Valley Conference's all-time scoring list.
Well, I remember being back in Peoria. I was probably in grade school at the time when Larry Bird would come to town. Most of Peoria turned out for that game. Everybody was excited when he came to town, and it's that same kind of excitement you feel here in Carbondale tonight with Hersey Hawkins in the arena.
He's only 123 away from the Big O. Nurnberger with the acrobatic shot, but a poor one. Braves by 6. Thomas makes it 8. And Richardson is charged with the foul. Jerry's been like a runaway freight train lately, and he's been getting open on that break a lot.
And the assist column is going to look very strange tonight. Give one to Luke Jackson. Great effort that time by Jerry Thomas to put that one anywhere near the basket.
Wilson had 4 first-half assists. Hersey had 3. Anthony had 6. Donald Powell made a nice assist earlier in the ball game. Bradley up by 9. They trailed a few minutes ago, 75-74 after leading most of the way and being up by 8 at halftime. And we've got 9 minutes left. Tim Richardson is caught with his hands in the cookie jar again. That's 3 on him.
Take a look at the matchup. Oh, big push that time, even before they went up for the ball.
So Richardson has 3, Middleton has 3, Shipley has 3, and House has 3.
Now Bradley has held off Southern Illinois on that run, but you can expect another one here in the final 8.5 minutes.
Our statistician Scott Weddle says now Shipley has 4, so he's in danger of fouling out. A steal by Hawkins, and here's Thomas again. What'd you say, they had 2 dunks here all year?
Yeah. They better think about getting breakaway rims here, too.
They may have 2 dozen here before the night is over.
Why the big rush?
I've got to get to University Ford.
What's your hurry?
University Ford.
And you?
University Ford. Why is everybody rushing to University Ford? People have discovered this really is the best place to buy a new or used car or truck.
Save $3,538 on the Ford F-150 XLT Lariat at University Ford.
At University Ford, you're always a winner.
Thanks, David.
With the arrival of the Morrison's new baby, the flexibility of Country Company's universal life insurance is a big help.
I know it's hard to believe, but you can change the amount of your coverage, even skip payments if you need to.
But why Country Companies?
They've always delivered what they promised.
You got country behind you.
With Country Company's universal life.
You got country companies. We know what matters.
We want to remind you that Missouri Valley Conference Tournament tickets are on sale and available now. And all those Missouri Valley Conference Tournament games that are sold out will be seen live here on WEEK. Stan Albeck will be in his first Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. And he hopes to be seated first. He has a 13-point lead with 8:15 to play. And the Braves must win to get the #1 seeding in the tournament.
You talk about point records, Mark. Bradley's got 90 points with 8 minutes to play. The most ever scored here by a team is 130. And that was 20 years ago by a Southern Illinois team.
Here's Shipley to Bush. He's open, but he won't take the shot. Shipley goes up in a crowd. And a foul on Jerry Thomas. So Thomas has 3. Wilson and Trippy have 3. And here's the foul by Jerry Thomas. Rick Shipley at the free throw line, and when he takes the uniform off at the end of the season, he'll put another one on because he's a pitcher for the Southern Illinois baseball team. And at 6'9", I would be shaken into my shoes in the batter's box.
Now Bradley's got a pitcher almost that big, Doug Slusser. This guy is huge. Look like he's right on top of you when he's pitching.
Got a great baseball program here. Here's Thomas with the hook shot. Nurnberger with the 3. Won't fall. Stolen by Nurnberger. But he charged.
Anthony says thank you very, very, very much. No basket scored, so Luke won't get an official assist, but he helped out Anthony Manuel here.
He made that play off balance. (92-78) Bradley with just over 7 to play. The Braves looking for their 23rd win of the season. The lob to Hawkins, and he's fouled on the play. And David Bush thought he was fouled. But it's the second on Bush. There's Rich Herron. Sends Randy House back in for Middleton, and Middleton leads the game with 28 points at this stage, above his average. He's been averaging about 30 points per game the last few weeks. Sterling Mahan back in the ball game, swats it out of bounds to Stan Albeck. Come on, Stan, show us how you made that potato chip commercial. Luke Jackson. Randy House is blocked. And who's the foul on?
He's going to be on Donald. Hawk got nothing but ball.
There's the alley-oop to Luke Jackson.
He was really able to get behind the zone up in Peoria and free himself up. On the last play, Randy House went to the basket strong. Hawk went up and got nothing but ball. Donald came over from the opposite side and got him with the body. That's where the foul was called.
Well, the Salukis are going to have to start putting three-pointers up. One of the best three-point shooters the Salukis have ever had is on the bench, but he's manager Doug Novsik, who used up his eligibility last year as a senior. And now while he finishes up his degree, another alley-oop try to Hawkins, but it goes out of bounds. While he finishes up his degree, he is a manager, and I would presume sort of an unofficial assistant coach. I bet he helps out a lot just by being there.
And that one was a little bit out of Percy's reach. Bradley coaches wanted a foul on the hand.
6:15 to play. The Braves with 94 points. Donald with a block shot. And a steal by Middleton, who's back in the game and has 30 points.
Middleton got his wish that time down the floor. Hersey Hawkins guarded him and shut him off in the lane.
Here's Thomas, blew the jam, and a whistle. And it's on Thomas, and he gets a technical. Well, that's a good way to let the other team back in the ball game. Braves up by 14. We'll take a look at it. Tim Richardson did a little bit of a hip check there, and he didn't.
I don't understand that.
Watch Richardson.
If there's a chance that a player is going to get hurt, he has the option to hang onto the rim, and Richardson got him with the body. Now, the rule, as I understand it, says that it's up to the referee's discretion. Apparently, the referees didn't think there was enough contact there to cause JT to hang on to the rim.
Woody Mayfield called it right away. It is not a personal foul, simply a technical foul. House drives and lays it in on the baseline, and the lead is down to 11 with 5:40 to play. And the Braves want a timeout. Southern Illinois hasn't beaten the Braves for 8 years, for 8 games, and they're down by 11 here in the second half.
Corn growers around here know Counter gives you more. More rootworm control, more root mass, more corn. And Counter in furrow gives you more protection where it's needed most. Counter consistently outperforms every other rootworm insecticide, and you can't afford a performance gap. So get more of what you use an insecticide for. Get Counter at your local Agri-Center dealer.
Where's the best place to buy a new TV?
Sherman's. They have all the major brands. Plus, everyone knows they have the lowest prices, and they give a 5-year picture tube warranty good anywhere in the United States at no additional cost.
Where is the best place to buy a new TV?
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, Sherman's is the only place to go. A friend of mine just purchased a new TV at Sherman's. She's a smart shopper. She doesn't fall for any gimmicks or tricks, and she always gets the best deals at Sherman's.
Sherman's, Peoria, Bloomington, and Peru.
Talk Back, weekdays on Live at 5.
Bradley by 11 here at Carbondale. They trailed 75-74 with just under 12 minutes to play, and then the Braves went on a 16-2 scoring run to take a 90-77 lead, and now it's 94-83.
And an outright Missouri Valley title is only 5.5 minutes away for Bradley.
Their 4th of the decade if they get it. And they'll start the Missouri Valley Tournament on Saturday with a 6 o'clock game. Manuel hits the 3, it counts, and he is fouled on the play. So this could be a 4-point trip to the free throw line for Anthony Manuel. Nurnberger got a piece of him. Just a love tap.
Yeah. Not much contact. Rich Herron trying to figure it out on the sideline.
I think he's more disgusted than anything else that Nurnberger would do that at this point in the game. Middleton with the fake and then the follow. Here's Hawkins in the front court. No hurry for the Braves, who are up by 13. Manuel drives. Here's Thomas with a fadeaway. No good. Rebound to Luke Jackson, and a new 45 on the shot clock. Stolen by Nurnberger. He's done it again. They play catch. And Powell swats it away from Middleton on his way to the basket.
Anthony Manuel got leveled and got nothing for it except a bruise on the fanny.
Nice job of passing here.
Look at Anthony hit the, well, you won't see him hit the deck, but you saw the contact there.
Here's Shipley inside to Richardson for the high percentage shot.
Still plenty of time.
Yeah, they're within 11. 4:20 to go.
And if Nurnberger gets hot.
Powell lays it in on the rebound. The Braves were out-rebounded in the first half, 24-18, but Donald does his job there. 16 points. He has 999 for his career, and the Braves have 100 for the night. Middleton with a three. And now a foul is called. And I think it's on Shipley, and if it is, he's fouled out of the ballgame. He's gone. He leaves with 9 points. He becomes the 31st player to foul out of a game for Southern Illinois. The Braves only have had 12 players foul out all season.
They're definitely an aggressive bunch. Rich Herron's going to have them start putting up that three-pointer. You can count on it. They only trail by 10 right now, and there's almost 4 minutes to play.
Herron also makes the switch with Richardson. As Richardson comes to the bench, and David Bush, the freshman from Hoopeston, Illinois, takes his place, and now Sterling Mahan will go in.
There's a little guy that was pretty impressive up in Peoria.
They can make it a 12-point Bradley lead. Nurnberger on the baseline, in and out. Luke Jackson tears it out of the air. No pressure applied by the Salukis with only 3.5 to play. Here's Manuel working on Nurnberger. Donald out to JT, now to Manuel. 15 on the shot clock. The Braves are trying to milk it. Hawkins is fouled. Woody Mayfield calls it on Sterling Mahan. He spells his name M-A-H-A-N, but he pronounces it Mahan.
Braves content just to work a little clock here with a 12-point lead.
And their best free throw shooter, Percy Hawkins, in the 1 and bonus. And he has just passed Larry Bird on the Missouri Valley Conference's all-time scoring list with 44 points tonight. Oscar Robertson is 121 away. And the Salukis are 14 away with 3 minutes to play. Middleton has done a nice job tonight, but he can't. He does on the follow, though. "37 points for Steve Middleton. Our statistician Scott Weddle needs some new erasers and lead for his pencil. He has worn it out.
Kai Nurnberger just wasn't as much help to Middleton tonight as he has been through the season, and that's the telling tale. Middleton couldn't do it all by himself tonight.
Hawkins with 45 points. The arena record here is 46. Batted away, but the Braves recover. 15 on the shot clock. Bradley will win the game, and they'll be 23-4. Here's Hawkins, and he sets an arena record here at Carbondale. 47 points. Oscar Robertson is 119 away.
Have to take him out to OTB.
Nurnberger misses the three. The Hawk could score 50. Manuel is fouled by House over the back as the fans take their Hershey's candy and leave.
Hawk said before the game he had that feeling he was going to set an arena record. By golly, he did.
Manuel at the free throw line. And Anthony has scored 13 tonight, which was his total on Saturday against Indiana State. Southern Illinois will wrap up the season at 12-15 and 6-8 in the Missouri Valley Conference, but they are the number 4 seed in the conference tournament because Creighton beat Drake tonight 74-71. So Creighton finishes at 6-8, as does Southern. And Drake finishes at 5-9, and Gary Garner's job is in jeopardy. But this game isn't. The Braves are up by 14, 108-94 with 1:16 to play. Now let's see if Hawkins can get 50. He's got 47. Middleton with a terrible shot. Nobody's home. Bad pass by Thomas.
I think he was throwing it back here to you.
Did you say I've got it?
I said I had it. Rolling right over here.
Thought I heard somebody call for that.
I think he wanted you for the tray.
Middleton trying to pad his statistics. He's got 40 points. And a timeout for the Salukis. Well, they're 11 away with 51 seconds left. And we'll take a break here.
Why the big rush?
I've got to get to University Ford.
What's your hurry?
University Ford.
And you?
University Ford. Why is everybody rushing to University Ford? People have discovered this really is the best place to buy a new or used car or truck.
Our fast and efficient service department honors warranty work on all Fords, regardless of where you bought your car.
At University Ford, you're always a winner.
Thanks, David.
Ameritech Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory. Shop here and shop.
Help!
For everything tomorrow's champions need today. Ameritech Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory. Shop here and shop a winner.
Earlier today, Hersey Hawkins was named Missouri Valley Player of the Week for the 6th time this season, and he is our Bradley Player of the Game. North Point Video will donate a check in his name to Bradley's General Scholarship Fund.
And Hersey Hawkins wanted to go out in a blaze of glory here in the regular season. He told us the other night that there was no way he was going to let this title get away from him this year, and if he had to do it himself, he would. Well, over the last 3 conference games, he averaged 39 points a game.
He scored more points in the last week, as Jerry Thomas is fouled by Kai Nurnberger, than some Bradley players have all year, and that is not a joking note. He had 63 last Monday against Detroit, 33 against Tulsa, 36 against Indiana State, and 47 here tonight against the Salukis.
Well, after what happened last year, they were so close to the Valley title, and then it got away from them. They were a very determined bunch.
So in his last 4 games, Hersey Hawkins has scored 179 points. That's more than Trevor Trimpe has had in his career. Or I'm sorry, in this season.
And he never quits. He got his hand on the ball there.
Foul on Bradley with 39 seconds to play. The Missouri Valley Conference Tournament starts this Saturday. Afternoon and evening sessions, 4 games on Saturday, and tickets are available. And we will televise all Missouri Valley Conference Tournament games that are sold out right here on WEEK. Rich Herron will be there. Middleton with a career high tonight. He has 41 points. And Manuel's fouled in the front court with 27 seconds to go as the Salukis making one last gasp attempt. Nurnberger charged with his fourth. They're within 10. If Manuel were to miss the first end and the Salukis were to get the rebound, they'd have a chance, but boy, it would be an outside chance.
Well, Rich Herron knows if he can force an overtime, his team will do well. They're 3-1 in overtime games this year.
Nurnberger is the three-point shooting artist, and he throws one up with Hawk in his face, and Hawk blocked it. Here he comes. 49 points for Hawk. And 111 for the Braves, and that just about seals it. Middleton with a 3. He'll finish with 45. 6 seconds to play. And what a ball game we've seen here tonight. With 6 seconds left, the Salukis haven't given up yet. They've called a timeout.
When Ed moved to Wheaton, he thought he was going to have to look high and low for a Country Company's auto claim center. He didn't know that Country Companies has more of them than anyone else in the state. So how about it, Ed? Hard to find?
Nope. It's just 5 minutes from my house. And the Country Company's folks around here are just as friendly.
You got the country behind you.
With the most auto claim centers.
You got the Country Companies.
Brown Sporting Goods has hundreds of super fitness values to help you shape up and save. The Weslow Relay 880 treadmill has all the most wanted features, including variable speed adjustment, a 10-function work center that includes time, speed, distance, and a 2-function pulse monitor, plus a gas-assisted incline adjustment. A complete system for only $499.88. You save $200. For fitness, it's Brown's.
Brown Sporting Goods for the games you play.
Accidental deaths of children are the next awful inflation.
Our final 5 seconds, and Donald Powell reaches the 1,000-point club as the Braves win it, 113 to 102. Many milestones tonight. Percy Hawkins passed Larry Bird on the Missouri Valley Conference's all-time scoring list, and the Hawk is now second. Donald Powell moves into the 1,000-point club for his career, and now the Braves will cut down the net, signifying the Missouri Valley Championship as the Hawk gets the scissors first. Stan Albeck will watch and let his team celebrate as they celebrate on the opponent's home floor. Steve Middleton with a great game tonight. He scored a total of 45 points. And there it is. And I know who will be wearing that net.
Yeah.
Well, earlier tonight we acknowledged several people who have assisted us this season in bringing you Bradley basketball. Now it's time to show you the main team who did their best so that you didn't miss any of the action. They have been together for a number of years now, and they're the most experienced sports crew in downstate Illinois. But tonight is the last game for technical director Steve Schmidt, who is leaving to take a job in Indianapolis, and we wish him the best of luck. So, for Lee Hall and our statistician Scott Weddle, our director Tom Opperman, and the rest of our all-American crew, good night from Carbondale, where Bradley closes the regular season by beating Southern Illinois 113 to 102. So long, everybody.
Next on News 25 Nightside, Morton residents speak out about a proposed local tax hike to pay for education. Is the Illinois State University campus overcrowded with students? Suggestions for change within Peoria's public housing. And should you be worried if your kids suck their thumbs? Nightside is next.
Why should you switch to Eradicane? For better grass control. Right, Curtis?
Our grass control was excellent with Eradicane.
We just felt that the Eradicane, under dry conditions, acts different and works much better than Lasso under the same conditions.
We switched from Dual and we're well satisfied. Our dealer recommended Eradicane to save us money. We're happy to report we saved almost $3 an acre with Eradicane this year.
For better grass control than Dual or Lasso, farmers like you were switching to Eradicane.
It's like the right girl with the right man, or the right way with the right plan. Take a new step, make your next round. It's a silver bullet, it won't slow you down. So come on in the cool light, it's the right here now. To the good life, yeah, to the good life, yeah. So come on in the cool light, it's the right here now.
Office Interiors by Whitmer can maximize the potential of your office for greater productivity. Whitmer provides a complete package featuring office function analysis, interior design, space and systems planning, and installation. Client needs are skillfully integrated with elements of design, color, and the finest in office furnishings. Whitmer also designs and installs filing and finding systems, including movable shelving and rotary and automated files. A productive office requires planning. Planning by Office Interiors by Whitmer in Peoria and Bloomington.
Hi, this is Victor French of Highway to Heaven, congratulating WEEK-TV on 35 years of knowing what matters. Happy anniversary.
News 25 Nightside with Tom McIntyre and Shelley Dankoff. Bill Houlihan's weather.
and Mark Strauss with sports. The team Central Illinois depends on.
Good evening, everybody. This is News 25 Nightside, a little later than usual. All of us will be faced with some choices in the upcoming elections.
Some of us may be choosing between more funding for education or a decline in the quality of education our kids get. One such district is Morton District 709. Tonight, the public got a chance to comment on a proposed hike. Our Fraser Ingerman joins us with more. Fraser?
Kelly, declining property values and rising costs put Morton's deficit at least at $1 million. If the tax hike isn't passed, there's the real possibility that an already bare-bones school budget will be cut further. Cuts which might hurt course offerings like technical drawing and other specialized courses. Voters are being asked to come up with $1.47 more on $100 per assessed valuation.
We can either provide an educational program for our students that is so unsound as to virtually destroy our ability to continue to grow and prosper, or we can all grumble a little, dig a bit deeper, and pay the piper.
I feel like I'm kind of being forced into an all-or-nothing proposition. And I've got a problem with the magnitude of the increase that we're talking here.
A lot of times when school districts cut costs, they'll lay off the custodian or a school bus driver, or those that want peanuts. Now let's get at the head of the school district. The boys that make the big money, they'll never get say-so money.
Fraser, what will happen if the referendum fails?
Well, those in favor of it say it will almost certainly come up again in the general election in November. And they say if it doesn't pass that time, the deficit is just going to continue to grow and Morton will be that much deeper in the hole financially.
Okay, thanks, Fraser. Mac?
Meanwhile, school officials in Peoria are worried that the funding crisis might also touch off a recruiting crisis. Not of students, but of quality teachers. District 150 Personnel Director Bob Carruthers says without more funding for education statewide, schools all over Illinois will lose the best college graduates to states with fatter wallets. District 150 stands to lose more than $2 million if the governor's 1989 budget is approved. We usually think of a growing community as a good thing. More people bring in more and spend more money. But at Illinois State University, that may not be the case. At ISU, the number of students has been growing rapidly, while money to provide education and services for those students has not grown as fast. Tonight, the faculty at ISU spoke out formally about the state of the university.
This success, as gratifying as it is, has created problems for this institution.
Faculty members said increased class loads and not enough classroom and office space are examples of their problems. University officials said some things are out of their control.
There is no such animal. There may be multiple optimal enrollment targets depending on what you're going to do or want to achieve.
Right tonight, about 210 faculty members approved 5 resolutions to deal with the university's problems. They are lowering undergraduate enrollment, increasing graduate enrollment, boosting admission standards, and building more classrooms.
Panama's president in hiding asked his countrymen to go on strike today in protest of Manuel Noriega's new military rule in that country. It didn't work. Most shops stayed open, and it appears no one of authority is willing to challenge Noriega's power. Here at home, President Reagan wants Noriega out, but the White House hasn't decided how that should be done, and the delay is angering some lawmakers.
And by God, here's someone who has been indicted by 2 grand juries, who's a killer, we know that, who's a drug trafficker, who's a thug. Let's bring about an economic embargo. I would say that within a matter of weeks, Noriega would fall if we had the courage to bring about that trade embargo.
The president's advisors insisted again today that economic sanctions are being considered. They also insist that a military solution is not in the works. New York Mayor Ed Koch says if the president were serious about winning the war against drugs, he'd cut economic aid to all drug-producing countries.
And Koch said that Mr. Reagan is not acting like a commander-in-chief, but like a wimp. More of Koch's comments came in a full-page ad in the New York Times today. It showed the photo of a rookie police officer murdered while guarding a witness in a drug case.
We've got to get our own country, the president, as commander-in-chief, protect us as he would if the Russians were coming here with terrorists.
Casual users. Meanwhile, Nancy Reagan was speaking her mind, saying even casual drug users should be held accountable.
I'm saying
that if you're a casual drug user, you're an accomplice to murder.
Elsewhere, Secretary of State George Shultz in Israel keeps pushing for an international conference about the future of the Palestinians. Such talks would include both the United States and Soviet Union.
Anglican Archbishop Desmond Tutu and several other church leaders were arrested today in Cape Town, that after attempting a march on Parliament. Tutu later said he was not breaking South Africa's laws. He was obeying God's.
The impeachment trial of Arizona Governor Evan Meekum began today in Phoenix. Senate leaders say it could take 2 months to hear all the testimony. Meekum wants the senators to hear his case only after his criminal trial ends.
Still ahead tonight on News 25 Nightside, PHA residents make some suggestions on improving Peoria's public housing.
And on kids nowadays, that's one of them. Is your child's thumb sucking sometimes something to worry about?